United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. I would like to call the Milton Planning Commission meeting of June 26, 2024 to order. This is a regular meeting of the City of Milton Planning Commission. I am Chair Judy Birds. This is a 7-member commission appointed by the City of Milton Mayor and City Council, created for the purpose of holding public hearings and making recommendations on rezoning, use permits, concurrent variance applications, comprehensive land use plan and plan map, and other related plans and amendments to the zoning ordinance. In attendance tonight, we have Commissioner Vic Jones, Commissioner Brian Neese, Commissioner Trey James, Commissioner Kurt Nolte, and Commissioner Fred Edwards. Commissioner Sumit Shah is absent this evening. I'd also like to welcome our interim Community Development Director, Ms. Diana. Welcome. Great. Are there any changes to the agenda? If not, I'll consider a motion to adopt the agenda.
I move that we approve the agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously 6-0. Do we have any general public comment?
No.
We do not. Okay, next up will be a consideration of text amendments to the City of Milton zoning. Oh,
Chair. yeah.
sorry, got to back up. This is why Kurt stays here. So the next up is April 24th action minutes, consideration of the minutes. I do have one change to those. If on item 2, we could spell Mr. Nolte's name correctly.
I just saw that today.
I've been called a lot worse, so I'm not. doesn't faze me.
It was recognized. Any other changes to the minutes? I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes with the change to item 2 on the spelling of Commissioner Nolte's name. Any second?
Second it.
Okay, fight for the second, folks. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That carries 6-0. Now we'll get to the consideration of text amendments to the zoning ordinance. Since this is a zoning item, I'm going to read some of this. The petitions will be heard in the sequence listed on the published agenda. We just have the one item. I would like to acquaint you with some of the rules and procedures. We don't really have an applicant, but all those speaking in support of the application will be allowed 10 minutes to present, and the applicant may choose to save some of the time for rebuttal following the presentation by the opposition. The opposition will be allowed a total of 10 minutes to present its position. If time remains, the opposition will be allowed to rebut. Since the burden of proof is upon the applicant will be allowed to make closing remarks. We really don't have an applicant here, but if there is time, that would have been allowed. So we're to the point of the staff of the Community Development Department will be keeping track of time. And if we have any comment, they will inform you periodically of the time remaining. Each speaker must fill out a speaker card before speaking and leave it with the staff member, Emily, of the Community Development Department. Speakers should identify themselves by name, address, and organization, if applicable, before beginning of their presentation. If there is an opponent to the rezoning action, and they have, in the 2 years immediately preceding the filing of this action, that is, they are opposing, made campaign contributions aggregating $250 or more to a local government official, of the local government which will consider the application. It shall be the duty of the opponent to file a disclosure with the governing authority of the respective local government at least 5 days prior to the planning commission meeting. A violation of the relevant state statute constitutes a misdemeanor. Therefore, if you have contributed for $250 or more to a council member and you have not filled out a disclosure prior to the planning commission meeting, the city attorney strongly suggests that you have someone else speak for your point of view. The application has been properly filed with the Community Development Department. There were no site specifics here, so there was no need to post signs at those sites. We will make a recommendation as the Planning Commission and forward that to the City of Milton Mayor and City Council for their disposition at a forthcoming meeting here in the City Council chambers. The Community Development Department has reviewed the application in conjunction with various agencies and departments, both internal and external to the city. And we're welcoming Chief Griffiths here today from the police department, as they have a major point of view on this item. Community Development Department's recommendations, findings, and conclusions are here before us in written form, which has been made available to all petitioners and to the public. Seeing that there are no members of the public present, I will then call for the presentation from staff.
Okay, so good evening, Madam Chair and Planning Commissioners. Tonight, we are considering a text amendment to the City of Milton zoning ordinance, but to the UDC. And it's RZ 24-01 to prohibit the sale of consumable hemp products and or unregulated marijuana substitutes. Y'all probably never thought you would be dealing with this when you signed up to be a planning commissioner, but we make your life very exciting here. So as Madam Chair had indicated, we have Chief Griffith here to assist in presenting this item, although I'm going to walk you through some of the mechanics of it, the boring part of it, and afterwards he'll take over. Again, this is the text amendment. I won't repeat myself again. And basically what this does is we've created new definitions for the two items, retail consumable hemp products and unregulated marijuana substitutes retail shop. These new products and retail shop will be prohibited in all zoning districts. And so I'll walk you through how that appears in the UDC. So first we have our traditional zoning districts in our handy dandy new wonderful use charts. And as you see on the bottom left is the first one, retail consumable hemp products, and everything is blank, meaning, as you know, that is not permitted in the city in any of those zoning districts, as well as the unregulated marijuana substitute retail sales. Again, in all the traditional AG1 through mixed use. Then we go to crabapple form-based code. We've inserted the uses, and you again see there are no allowance for it because of the blank boxes for both those uses. And finally, the Deerfield form-based code, you see the same situation. So that's the mechanics of it. It's very similar to what we've done in the past with prohibition of vape shops, where we defined it and then we left everything open or not checked in the boxes. So with that said, I will have the chief come up, talk about it in more detail.
Good evening, Madam Chair and Commissioners. So Robin asked me to come tonight and explain a little bit of the history of how we arrived here at making this a zoning issue. I guess it was about 3 years ago. We had about 5 of these stores that popped up and were selling Delta 8, Delta 9, Delta 10, HHC, which are essentially marijuana, but they were legal under the 2018 Farm Bill, but essentially being sold as legal marijuana. We've since had most of those stores have shut down. A lot of them, some of them through COVID, I would assume, but we're down to 2. We did do some purchasing to test their products to make sure they were under the legal thresholds as far as their products remaining under the legal limits to be sold. And some of the products came back at incredibly elevated levels of illegal THC, and we charged them. Through the judicial process through Fulton County and through our through our municipal courts, we tried both avenues. We hit some brick walls with some different opinions on how the law read and how the law was interpreted, and what was legal, what was not illegal, what the 2018 Farm Bill allowed, what it didn't allow, what was a hemp product, what was not a hemp product. Fulton County. So we tried enforcing it under our ordinance, which we have a very robust synthetic marijuana ordinance. So we approached our municipal judge, our municipal prosecutor at the time, and had a discussion about that, and we hit some walls there. There was a few different legal issues because our ordinance was written more towards the synthetic cannabis, like spice. I don't know if you've heard of spice or bath salts and stuff of that nature that was going around several years ago. We had no control over these establishments. My office gets a lot of complaints from a lot of parents, a lot of high schools. We get a lot of calls from SROs, kids overdose or taking these gummies, and in schools. We try to do a lot of underage buys, undercover buys at these places. Sometimes they pass, sometimes they don't. Much like our alcohol buys. So the general consensus citywide was we didn't want to end up like some of our neighbors that surround us and have a bunch of these smoke shops popping up all over the place in a community like Milton. So we decided to go the zoning route and thought that was the best way to do it is through zoning. So that is where we're at.
I think Ms. Birds had a question about the.
Yeah, I have a couple questions, but I'll let you finish.
So there was a new law passed, and I think Paul may be able to touch on it, and signed by the governor, that it goes into effect October 1st, that is referenced in the text amendment verbiage, where it requires any business that is going to sell consumable hemp products to obtain a license through the state. Mm-hmm. And it regulates how the packaging looks, whether it's prepackaged. It has to be prepackaged. They can't sell loose gummies. So they can't just have a jar of a bunch of gummies up on a shelf and they just sell you 2 at a time, is what that means, essentially. Up until now, they've been able to do that. You go in there and you go in these stores and there's a whole wall. Out of curiosity, I've traveled out west. I've gone in a marijuana dispensary, and these places look no different. They have real flower marijuana, but it's Delta 8 flower. It looks like marijuana, smells like marijuana, messes you up like marijuana, but it is legal per state law, per federal law, under the Farm Bill. They found a way to engineer it under the radar. So it's where we're at. So it's an uphill battle, but willing to fight it for sake of what's right.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions?
Any questions?
I think I have maybe the same question you do about prepackaged terminology. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead.
Well, just reading the detail here, it calls out on M1, any retail shop that prepares or sells prepackaged. Seems to me if we just struck prepackaged from the verbiage, just any retail shop that prepares or sells consumable hemp, whether it's packaged or not packaged. Is there a difference in that definition? Is there something specific to prepackaged that's important?
Oh,
Judy, is that what you were wondering about? Okay.
feel free.
Seems a little more
I will say,
restrictive than prepackaged.
Yeah.
I'm not going to jump in with anything definitive in that it's part of they don't allow it otherwise. So, but we've kind of adopted the state definition, which does allow prepackaged. So part of the definition is to make it prepackaged. Anything that isn't prepackaged wouldn't be allowed, period. So that's why the distinction was made as far as I understand.
So none of these stores make their gummies themselves. So they order it from a manufacturer. So they come in literally like a pack of Skittles.
Yeah.
I mean, they come in a pouch. So that all that means is they buy a prepackaged assortment of 5 gummies that are in a package. That's all that means.
So basically, if they had loose merchandise, they would be automatically
Illegal.
illegal.
They would not be able to sell.
Right.
Under
You
current,
could prosecute them, right?
But if
Correct.
the state changed its wording or changed the law that allowed unpackaged,
No, it doesn't allow unpackaged.
It doesn't allow it
but
now.
if they changed and said, if the state allowed it, then anyone who had prepackaged could just unpackage and sell it loose, right? Are you tracking with me?
yeah, it's kind of like, can they take it out of the box and sell it to you because it's no longer prepackaged?
I guess what I'm
Does
suggesting,
it add value to have the word
This
prepackaged
was
there?
the second section comes into play, right? And the city had been regulating things based on, when I say regulating, had been using a definition that involved unregulated marijuana. So not only do things fall under the first category M, but if they aren't regulated by that subsection M, then they would fall under the subsection N, which is kind of more of a catch-all, and it catches some things that aren't covered by the state.
Okay.
So if something would be allowed under the state rules, and I'm not deeply involved in what those examples are, but I think those are some of the things that the chief was talking about that don't fall under the subsection M.
Like
We would be able to capture them in as unregulated marijuana substitute retail shop, and that would it's also not going to be permitted. So we've got a second basis to cover anything like that if it did change.
one of the definitions under our synthetic marijuana ordinance, which is what it's referencing, is anything that emulates, simulates, or mimics the effects of marijuana or synthetic cannabinoids through chemical changes such as the addition, subtraction, or rearranging of a radical, or the addition, subtraction, or rearranging of the substituent. So it's a catch-all. It's a catch-all for everything that's not.
so I'm not an attorney.
I'm not
I
either.
play one at work occasionally. If it's not prepackaged and it's not substitute, if it's the real thing, then we have another loophole. Do we not? Because the section N talks about substitutes, not the actual. Are you tracking with me?
I understand the comment for that
So if
description.
I'm just off-
I'm reading the actual text to see if
Okay.
the common contemplated meaning follows in what they actually write as what it means. Shall mean for any kind of whether described as May cause. No, I think it's still, it may cause the effects. It doesn't say that it actually is synthetic. It's at any compound or substance which causes the effect.
Okay.
So even though that's the term, it says substitute, that the actual definition that we've
any.
included doesn't say a substitute. So it
Okay.
includes anything.
I think along those lines, if we remove, I mean, right now we're counting on the state law to do the unpackaged, right? And we're looking at this as the packaged. Wouldn't it be a stronger statement if we just said consumable hemp overall and not
That's what
packaged versus unpackaged?
That's what I'm advocating.
That's where I am
Yeah,
too.
that's what yeah. Wouldn't that be a stronger statement that just all of it, whether it's packaged or unpackaged, we don't care, we don't want it.
I think the goal was to have this section, the section M match the state definition at the time, and then we also have the section N to be our own, even so such that even if that
More
changed,
strict.
and we can amend ours to mirror those, but we also have the section N to maintain the city's additional concerns and going beyond what the state has depicted in its definition. So that unpackaged would fall, packaged and unpackaged would both fall under the paragraph N.
Okay.
So, and just to let you know, the city attorney's office has done a lot of research, and even though Paul wasn't the point person on the authoring of this, between another attorney in this office as well as Ken Gerard, they have poured over it and reviewed it and compared it to the state law. So I get what you're saying, and I think, but at the same time, I think it's and they can go back and double check things. So we also have, in case there might possibly be an issue, to make any kind of correction before the city council.
And I will tell you what, I will make a promise to you that you can either pass along with a comment.
Yes, you could.
I am making a note to investigate it before it gets to the city council as well.
Yeah.
And they still have the opportunity to consider that.
Because I think one of the things to make sure we're covered from a catch-all in N could also be to just add unpackaged consumable hemp products to the long list of what's defined under N. If you want to keep M consistent with state law, you could always add or unpackaged consumable hemp products to N as in Nancy. And then address our concern about not having a loophole.
Like that too.
I have a question about the two, I believe it was mentioned there are two retail stores that sell consumable hemp products today.
Mhm.
What would this do for those businesses? Or do they get grandfathered in, or would they
Yes.
automatically? Okay,
As long as they stay under the
as long
limit.
as they stay under, got it.
Where are those located?
One's on Windward Parkway, one's on Highway 9.
The one on Highway 9's near Forsyth County border, and then the Windward is over by Chipotle in that little strip center.
Right.
Not that we really need to know where.
It's in the Kroger next to the.
What are their hours?
I had
Hi over there.
I had another question of clarification. And Chief, in your presentation, you referenced both Delta 8 and Delta 9. And in M, we're only talking about Delta 9. It is Delta. I don't know anything about this. Is the need to say does Delta 9 versus 8 versus another number matter?
So federally, the only THC that is illegal is a derivative of Delta 9. And that's how they're getting away with selling Delta 8, Delta 10, all these other deltas. They found a way to extract a different Delta THC that still gives people euphoria.
It's like a game of whack-a-mole.
Pretty much.
yeah.
And they also found a way to extract Delta 9 THC, but under the legal allowed limit of 0.3 percent. So you can go to a store and buy Delta 9 THC right now that is still legally extracted from hemp. And it's under the 0.3%.
Okay.
So it's
So
science.
are the
They
derivatives
keep getting
of
better.
Delta 8 and Delta 10 then covered by N as in Nancy?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's more inclusive.
It's derived from hemp. It's all
Okay.
derived from hemp.
So does it limit its effectiveness in here if you call out Delta 9?
Kind of the same thing with the
Is it like,
pre-plant.
is that too restrictive when you've got 8 and 10 and?
I would say it's too restrictive. So going back years and years and years when they tried to outlaw these different synthetic marijuanas that were being engineered, the state would keep changing the different compounds that they would keep making this stuff with. And every year they would just use a different chemical. These chemists would come up with a different whatever, a different concoction. And the state was constantly adding to this long list until they just came out and did all encompassing. They had to get a very broad law that kind of just pulled everything in to outlaw, bath salts and stuff like that, which is what we did with our ordinance essentially, because they were just a step ahead. This is no different. It's just on a much bigger scale.
One more question, ask from ignorance. So we talk about that does not exceed the legal limit of 0.3%. In my limited research, since I knew little about this, there was an article that said that the DEA, the Federal Drug Enforcement Agency, was looking to change that law and lower that percent. And so I guess one of my questions to you and our attorney, to avoid getting caught in a loophole because of the timing, is do we not say the legal limit of 0.3% or the then current law, whichever is less?
That's good.
So that it keeps up? Because I know we have some stuff in our language about, like, if they change the law or as follows, that at sec. So the question becomes, do we limit ourselves by stating the legal limit here if they lower it?
Again, this falls into the category of this category, paragraph M, as in Mary, trying to mirror the state requirement, but still getting captured in paragraph N, as in Nancy. Yes, that could be written that way, and it would reflect such changes. But again, they should be captured in N as well. So it's less of a concern. And if the city wants to reduce that, should the state make such a change, or the DEA or wherever the number came from, that can be a future amendment if it does get changed.
Just amend it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it would have to come back. And in the meantime,
recognize
between 1 passes it. And
Grandfathered.
yeah, there's a,
Doesn't N catch it already because it's any?
Right. That's
Okay.
N does catch it. Okay.
Not to go too far offline, but is there anything else we can do? For example, like home deliveries. I see signs driving, get THC delivered to your door in 30 minutes, right? And the number, no. Is there anything we can do in this, it may not be the appropriate place, to prohibit home deliveries, DoorDash, things like that? Or is that a slippery slope we don't really want to touch?
It's a slippery slope, and I really don't think there's anything legally we could do, to be honest with you. I mean, in today's world, most people order it online anyway. If we're being real, I was attached to a DEA group for 4 years. This is in the early, this is from 2011 to 2015. We used to spend a lot of time at FedEx plants and United States Post Office distribution plants, and it was constant. I always joke that the biggest drug dealer or drug pusher in the world is FedEx, UPS, and the United States Postal Service. But it's amazing how much goes through the mail.
Yeah, I don't see why FedEx got let out in handcuffs. I don't think that would help anybody.
That's-
And then I just have one thing for staff. On pages 8, 9, and 8, 10, in the other section, appropriately, the title is indented, but it is not on 8, 9, and 8, 10. So just from a formatting standpoint, there should be an indent on the description. And you did it on the form-based codes, but not in the general zoning district.
Yeah, we'll get that.
Okay.
Also, on page 13, the very top of the page, fourth line, such plan, including the seeds, it needs to be such plant.
That's a good catch.
Gotcha.
God, that was the one we
My
left to
wife would
make
be
sure.
so impressed.
I'm impressed.
Very good.
Send you some proposals to proofread.
Please
Get the
don't.
prize tonight.
All that practice with the UDC.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Here, I thought it was going to be a comma that somebody found.
Thanks for taking a stand on this.
Yeah, I
Yes,
guess,
thank you.
and you're comfortable with this, correct? You feel this is good and comfortable and enforceable and,
I do. I think this is the best way to keep these establishments out of here, just like we keep strip clubs, more vape shops. I mean, I live in Cherokee County, and these shops are all over the place, and it
Yeah.
just trashes up the place.
well, great.
Quick-
And thank you.
Quick
for what you do.
question,
Thank you.
and this doesn't have to be a long answer. What is the number one thing that you're dealing with day in and day out in Milton?
Day in and day out. Probably property crime in the business corridor, as far as like retail theft.
Okay.
And it's usually, actors that aren't local.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Glad you didn't say one of my kids.
no.
All right. Thanks for all you do.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? So I think to summarize, I heard a couple things that consist several comments about covering the unpackaged hemp products and make sure they're somehow covered, fixing the typo. The legal limit of the 0.3%, I think the discussion was, we'll deal with that if they change it. And then the formatting change. Anything else? I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we recommend approval of the text amendment to the UDC code with those specific items. The plant, the 0.3, which I guess is going away, but also then with what was the third one?
The addressing unpackaged
Yes,
consumables.
if there's any way to make it stronger, doing packaged or unpackaged, is a comment to attach to it.
Great.
Thank you.
I think the only thing I heard on 0.3 was
We're gonna roll it into.
that they were okay, we were okay with that, so keep it and we'll address it if it changes. So really just the major changes are the typo plant and then addressing the unpackaged consumables.
Correct. So those are two.
Okay.
I second that motion.
We have a motion to recommend approval of the text amendment with a change to correct the spelling of plant on the top of page 8-93 and to address unpackaged consumable hemp products as the attorneys deem to recommend. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. That passes 6-0. Okay, new business. Quarterly tree waiver update. Miss Emily.
Good evening, Commissioners. Tonight, there are no tree waivers from the past quarter. So we did not have Sandra come to explain that to you. But there were none issued, and she included a memo in the packet just stating that no one asked for any, and she didn't have to grant any this quarter.
Great.
So
Thank
we'll be back in the
you.
next quarter.
You have a
No,
question?
I was,
Fred?
the only, I was going to say, based on what's happened on 9, has there been conversation relative to the trees and what we can do, or is still that an illegal
So.
situation?
Yeah, so we, Diana and I were in on a meeting on Monday morning with some of the other senior staff and with Bob Buscemi, who's been directed to kind of oversee the just the whole Highway 9, which would include the widening of it with GDOT. So we were able to speak to the head engineer of District 7, which is the area that Milton encompasses. And he has indicated that they are in the process of sending out getting permission from the property owners to come onto the property to fix items that were damaged. I
Yeah,
can't speak directly about trees. I'm not,
Well,
But I mean, in
that covers
general-
it in general.
to rectify any issues that happened with the premature starting of the construction. So rest assured that between the city manager and Bob and
I'm
the
sure.
Public Works Director, everybody is working feverishly to make sure that GDOT is accountable for the issues that have happened thus far. So, yeah.
Thank you.
But do we need a formal motion to change Emily's last name now that she's married?
Oh, yeah. Well, she decided, well, you can
Yeah,
speak
she
for
did.
yourself.
So there's already 3 Emilys here at the city, and I'm going to keep my last name here so that I still get my emails because it gets really confusing.
Otherwise, it would be like we had a fourth one?
Yeah, we don't need another Emily running around.
Well, good, 'cause we wouldn't know you if
But
you
you
changed your
can't
last name.
control that. You might get them.
Great. Next on the agenda, the Comprehensive Plan 2040 update. It looks like Subra's going to give us an update, and we again appreciate you keeping up with us and keeping us informed on the progress.
I'm happy to do so. Good evening, planning commissioners. I'm Shubha Jangam. I'm here to give you a regular update on the progress of a short-term work program that came out of Comprehensive Plan 2040. And since we are joined by our new interim director, I would like to, briefly talk about our previous accomplishments. And I also want to note that the planning commissioner members in 2020 were part of CPAC, that is Comprehensive Plan Advisory Committee. Obviously, we have new planning commissioners this year, but some of you were in that room where it all happened in 2020. So with that, these are our, we have a long short-term work program list, and this is my responsibility to work with other project leads and in various departments and get to the update and also kind of note the outcome and the conclusion of those projects. We adopted Complan in 2021. And every year we had scheduled some projects and we have successfully completed many of them. And in front of you is just some visualization of some of the projects. Obviously the list is longer and you have a compiled list. And if you see on the left side, it's color coded. The blue projects are completed and the green ones on the list are on track. These are just some of the notable projects that you are seeing on the screen. So back to the regular project update. The first one on the list is Arnold Mill Small Area Plan. We began this project early this year, and we have made a significant progress. We started with a public kickoff in March, and we had a digital survey out there in April, and almost 200 people have taken that survey. So it was a great response, and the survey kind of reaffirmed that some of the sentiments of the community that we need to focus on 2 activity nodes, and I'm going to show you the map in the next slide. The survey said that we need to focus on they're okay with focusing on the 2 activity nodes and would like to preserve most of the Highway 140 as rural and low density. So we are, and here's a quick summary of whatever survey that we had done, that like Arnold Mill Road should remain rural, retain its rural character, community support for small scale downtown development in activity nodes, and for the rest of the corridor, preferred uses include equestrian facility, recreational fields, and large lot residentials. So that's just a quick summary of what came out of the survey. Then we had our design workshop just 10 days back, and and what you're seeing on the screen is the corridor, Highway 140, and the area in the red boundary marked is the study area, and rest of the area is either Milton or Roswell or Alpharetta. Within the study area, the 2 activity nodes are marked yellow. They're highlighted in yellow, and the dashed lines, that's a highway. So when we had this workshop, we actually discussed high-level schematics of what could go in these 2 activity nodes. We also looked at some of the how can we keep this Highway 140 rural, assuming that GDOT is very soon going to put it on a schedule of widening, and given the lessons that we learned at Highway 9, we wanted to kind of go ahead of GDOT and had some community input on what kind of elements we want to have on the highway, so that in terms of streetscaping and other things, so that we can have a leverage when we work with GDOT. So we also showed some of the street sections, how they could be designed. Now, you are seeing 3 sections here. This highway is actually, varies in width. So we have kind of created 3 concepts. First one is probably, I don't see it here, but it's probably 100 feet wide. The second one is 110 feet, and the other one is 120. So wherever it fits, we will kind of would like to have that kind of a design over there. We showed this to the community. Kurt was there at the meeting. Thank you, Kurt, for coming as a planning commission member and the steering committee member. But the community that came out, or the neighbors that came out, they were really excited to see all the things. And these are some of the pictures from the meeting. As you can see, they sat down with us and drew on the map. We had a really good turnout and a successful workshop. And the next meeting is going to be an open house on August 1st at the City Hall. So,
Shubha, I have a quick question.
yes.
Actually, in the picture on this, the woman that I was talking to was talking about adding 1 or 2 additional connectors between Arnold Mill and New Providence. Is that something that's being seriously considered? Is that something that's just throwing out there for other ideas, or?
So if you remember, in 2013, we had done some visioning study for this area. And during that visioning study was also some connectors were desired. Now we're just reconsidering them and we're trying to see if the community still wants them or not. So that's what we were trying to figure out. Now, what has been kind of talked by TSW, which is our consulting partner, is we won't be solving a lot of problem by east-west, making more east-west connections, because the issue is on the highway, which goes like north-south. So what they are saying is that we're going to dissipate all the traffic in the neighborhood if we do that. So we are carefully thinking all the things before we recommend anything further. But yeah, this was an opportunity to talk to the people and residents and see and hear from them what they feel. Yeah, we are looking at it, but we would like to know something that this is something that interests you and the residents.
So a couple comments on that, Kurt. I guess this would be in addition to Rant Chat, which is about the only cut through between there, is as the future of the potential acquisition for parkland, if that's an active park, I would hope they would look at having access to that other than just from 140, which in the evening is just gridlock.
That's a great idea. We already kind of, Robin and I and TSW kind of thought about it, but Parks and Rec is still working on getting this parcel. I mean, buying this parcel is not kind of done deal.
Right,
But, yeah, that is a great point. And we will work with Public Works to make sure that we kind of plan some connection over there so that we have, even the park will benefit from multiple,
Right.
entry points. So yeah, that works.
I mean, Green is a cutover a little bit further south, but that also, as Legacy Park continues to get more and more use, which it seems to be avoiding that. I mean, you would not believe when I have to get between those, the way where Waze sends me. I was like, I don't know what street I'm on. Waze just told me to avoid traffic because it's usually gridlock.
Yeah.
One, hopefully, hint on this open house is to explain, and Robin and I have discussed this, how the service station that's, I don't know what,
You mean Chadwick House?
no,
Which
the
service station?
Would near the landfill?
Gas station. Oh,
gas
yeah.
station, service station. That's my age.
You don't get it.
Yeah, okay. Just be prepared for that to come up as to how come out of all this that we're planning, that is already been done.
Yeah.
And we're very prepared to answer to that. And it's all legit. There's nothing that was done undercover or anything. So
I understand that.
no, I know, but yeah, and actually it hasn't really been a big deal in the meetings that we've had or that I've been a part of.
Right.
Public
Nobody
meetings,
is saying
I
it.
think
In
it
fact,
hasn't been.
they're probably surprised that there's a gas
Actually, they
station.
kind of like it, especially we've brought the architectural renderings of the buildings, of what it's going to look like, and people are very impressed. So, and it's going to be a really cool convenience
It's going to
store.
be really
gas-
Milton style.
Yes, and not only that, but the gas pumps will be behind the building.
Yeah, you do.
So I think
Those
that would
are
be
the
a
things.
first for the
Okay.
area. So yeah.
And for clarification, that gas station is up in the activity
Right,
node in the far northwest.
Yes, the northmost part of this corridor, the gas station is right there at the triangular portion that you're seeing. And we are also getting some more development right behind the gas station. So we are really hopeful that that node will be really activated once we have everything. Okay, so the next project is our ag incentives.
Kurt, you were on that committee. Any comments or?
No, I think, it was interesting because obviously those things get a lot of neighbors, as you said. They all come out and, are concerned about their backyard. And, it would obviously be wonderful if we can get more Miltonites there, but having 200 done this, having completed the survey, I think is a very good sign.
Yeah, yeah.
But again, it was a good meeting, well run, the options and taking a poll live, those are always good things.
Thank you, Scott. So the next one is ag incentives for large lots, our large lots. On the council's directions, we are doing this project in-house. And we have made some steady progress. I actually started a focus group for this project of Milton residents, long-term Milton residents, and I have done some interviews with them. These were just like an open dialogue really with them, just to sit down and hear what kind of things are supported zoning wise and what we should avoid as incentives and things like that. So just last week or a couple of weeks back, I had a briefing at the council. It was a work session, so I had a briefing with mayor and council, and again, I'm going back there next month to get some direction from them on a couple of ideas that came out of this focus group activity. And what we did when I was at the council work session, that we made sure that it is clear that our task here is to come up with some incentives so that we can assist the existing large lot property owners to maintain their agricultural lifestyle or equestrian lifestyle. And we already have some incentives that help create new large lots. They kind of work, they're working well, the minor plots that don't come here. Those are working well. So we're not focusing on those. We are actually focusing on helping existing landowners to get some help into it. Okay, so next, obviously you guys know, UDC has been adopted officially.
I'll
Sorry.
back up again. Trey, you sit on this initiative. Any comments? Thanks.
UDC has been adopted, and I wanted to show where you can find it on our website, because you can still find the old ordinance in Muni Code, but we can't really officially refer to any of that. So on our website, this is the sixth circle on this, like 6 buttons over there. That's where the UDC sits, and please refer to that document here on. And this is a great achievement. It was a long project, and you guys have done a lot of work on it, so well done.
Were any other models considered for that picture, or was that the only one?
Yeah.
That was apropos.
So the next big project that's wrapping up soon is a capital improvement element. It's a study, it's a review of our capital improvement elements as well as our impact fees. And on July 8th, actually, the council and the mayor is going to adopt the new CIE, which is a new list of projects. And on July 22nd, they will hold a first public hearing for the impact fee. And that came out of the study. So just wanted to let you guys know. Any questions over there? No. Okay. Again, another big project that we finished and the council adopted, Windward Parkway and Highway 9 Strategic Master Plan. So obviously we are moving towards the Deerfield implementation. This is the newest plan that Bob Buscemi is leading. And so I think in relation to this project, council has adopted a moratorium that ends end of the year. And this moratorium will be on accepting new applications for use permits and rezonings in this area. Meanwhile, they are also exploring lots of options for road design with GDOT. And the RFP was out. We got 3 proposals, and the selection is made, and there will be award early next month to the whoever the consultant is. Again, Bob will be leading this project. He'll be the single point of contact, basically. And then he's going to make monthly updates to the council. So tune into the work sessions because he's asked to do this monthly update on this project.
Question.
Yes.
Maybe it's this for Robin. What was the procedure that allowed the bank there on the corner before you get to 400 turned into a car wash?
I think that's the city of Alpharetta.
That corner?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I can yell at them. Okay.
Yeah. No,
But it
so-
does
So
affect,
basically.
does affect the windward.
City of Alpharetta starts on the north side of Windward on the east side of Deerfield. So
Okay.
that's
So it stops before that.
right.
Or Milton, yeah.
It's very confusing, but yes, that car wash did not come from us.
Well, that's good, but I mean, it plays into this development of the Windward Parkway.
Right. So
Majorly.
Yeah. I mean, Bob's implementation plan won't deal with that side of it. And the item, this Windward Parkway, that was more of a 5,000 foot level between Alpharetta and Milton and the CID. So, yes. So I can't really speak to Alpharetta's,
No, but I
design.
just said that plays into this as far as the design and so forth.
I'm sure they will
Of getting
definitely look into
getting
it.
off of Windward Parkway to it, even though it's not ours.
It is very confusing.
Right.
Okay, also, city mayor and the city council approved our branding study and the new logo and all the colors and the new tools. And you probably noticed your email signature changed with the new logo. I don't know if you noticed, but ours did change it.
Yeah, there's the two.
So now we're picking up the wayfinding gateway and signage project that was kind of dependent on our branding a little bit. So the Anita Jupins, who's economic development manager, she's actually working on the RFP, and that will go out next month. So we're gonna work on that very soon. So the last planning commission meeting, I think Emily Groth came in with, she's a sustainability project manager. I had invited her to give you opportunity to comment on her solid waste management plans. I hope that was helpful. Today, I just want to talk about her green print project. It's going very well. And this green print is actually a compilation of their trails projects and accessibility to trails on all the green space properties. And the green space properties that Milton has bought since 2016, it has already spent, I think, spent 20 millions already. They had purchased the almost 400 acres of a property in Milton. And out of those, there are 6 properties, and out of them, 3 of them are open for public, and the public also have access to the trails that are on these properties. The ones that on Freemanville, Birmingham Highway, Birmingham property, and Lakapani Preserve. Freemanville and Birmingham it's a one property that has access to both sides, actually, from Birmingham as well as Freemanville. The second one is Lakapani Preserve, and the third one is Milton City Park and Preserve. The properties that are closed right now are Hamby Road, Webb Road, and Cooper Sandy, and they are actually working on the plan right now for that one. And Emily had 2 meetings already, 2 community meetings. And she's going to have a third meeting very soon. I don't have the date for it. But, they are really looking, they had a good survey. They had, again, they also had more than 200 people taking the survey, and they had various responses. But they are considering lots of different uses, and making sure that they save some land for trails, some for picnic areas, rural views, and some of the land is really suitable only for the natural features such as floodplains and whatnot. But they are considering, while they're designing, they're considering adjacent property owners' concerns. They are considering properties specific opening and operating cost and year-over-year operating cost, and they're also getting advice from Georgia Conservancy. So this is a really good project, and they are charging on. Then the last project that I want to talk about today is our Parks Department is actually heading this project, even though this was kind of mentioned in a land use category. Begin process of acquiring land for active parks. And Judy mentioned today one property on Honor Mill, which they are not right now super focused on. This is the property they are kind of really focused on. This property is on a Deerfield Parkway. They have created a concept for it. It's been revealed. It's been reviewed by the mayor and council, also by Parks and Recreational Board Advisory has reviewed it, and it's open for public comment. So if you have anything, just reach out to me or Tom, who is the director of Parks and Recs.
Remember, this looks like the latest plan because it's considering the stream/wetlands there on the eastern edge.
Yeah, I picked it up actually just from yesterday's or day before yesterday's meeting. So I'm showing you the latest one.
Yep, and then significant reductions in pickleball and tennis courts.
Yeah.
And then no current cut through, but it
But there is a
probably could
space
be
for
adapted
potential
for it,
connection, yeah.
And plenty of park. And then it looks like there's also a trail around the perimeter. You can walk the circle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, that's all I have for today.
A lot.
Any other questions on update on the comprehensive plan? One, I guess, not related to the comprehensive plan, but more what do we have to look forward to this summer, Robin?
I'm sorry?
What do
What
we
do we
have to
have
look
next
forward to?
year?
What's
So
coming up?
next month, we have on the docket the rezoning on Bethany Bend for the expansion of the Montessori school, the Milton Montessori, on the lower part of Bethany Bend. And then we also,
We have a preliminary plat.
we have
Potentially.
potentially a preliminary plat. And then the following month, we will have a use permit for the artist studio off of Pleasant Hollow and New Providence or Providence.
Great.
So we have it kind of, that's why I was joking about you can't have another vacation for a bit. But
I have a question.
speaking of
for
that,
Robin.
we wanted to let you guys know that because of some conflict with other boards, at the end of the year, we kind of negotiated some dates because they were being nice to us in the beginning of the year. So we said that we would work with the other, which board is it? Oh, it's the
It's-
equestrian.
Yeah, the question.
The equestrian committee. So we've had to schedule in November and December. So we want to let you guys know about that as soon as we can, which is going to be on a Thursday, correct?
When
But
you,
we'll confirm the dates. I'm sorry. I thought we
when
had
you
them.
do, will you circulate that? And I think we probably will need to do a motion to amend the.
No, I know. I just
Yeah.
wanted to let you guys know that it won't be the normal.
They're probably both just going to get pushed to the Thursday after.
Cool.
I'm just
Right.
for Tom to.
We're
Because
just
right now
waiting
I
for-
show it's Wednesday, November 20th and Wednesday, December 18th.
So it'd be the 19th of December and then the Thursday after the date you said in November.
The 21st, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we just want to give you a heads up on that, but like Paul said,
We'll bring it.
we'll bring it
officially.
officially for your.
Yeah, anyone have concerns about Thursday night? Anybody have standing Thursdays?
Well, but no, the holiday dinner is only on Wednesday night though, right? So if we change it, I
Yeah.
feel bad about that, but
Robin,
Yes.
another question. I believe, and I'm taking a shot on this, it's on Windward Parkway at Highway 9. There is a sign in the divide that advertises the painted horse.
The painted horse. Oh, right. Is it the state one for the agribusiness you're speaking of? So I believe that's what the state puts up when.
That was my question.
Right, yeah, we don't control that and it's in the right of way, so they get to do what they want to do. Or that small, it's not too big, it's just like another highway sign, not a highway sign, but a street sign.
No, I just,
Yeah.
And Fred, it's been there for about 2 years.
yeah.
No, so there, it's actually a
State
very
sign.
interesting site. If you go on the state website on
Tourism.
tourism, there's all sorts of suggested places that are, it's very interesting. If you want to take a day trip around the state, there's a lot of really great places to visit, so.
No, I just wondered if that was something that people could do as all these wineries and
Right, I think they
breweries
have to
and-
register and qualify
So
for.
it's through the
yeah,
state.
Yeah,
It has nothing to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just have one more thing. I mean, Shuba, great job on the update. I think your updates, maybe we should print this out once a quarter. Because I don't know if, it's a lot of paper, a lot of ink. And, we get your updates, which are good. So I don't know if we need both on a regular basis. I don't know how valuable this is to you guys.
No, I
So
can
just-
just stick to the
just like-
presentation and at the year end, I can print it.
That sounds good. Actually, good idea.
You okay with that?
Saving
Okay.
trees.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else?
All right.
I have a motion to adjourn from Commissioner McNeese. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Second from Commissioner Jones. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 6-0. Thank you all.
Yep.